When we started trying to have another baby, weren't successful with that on our own, the old-fashioned way, so we started thinking about other options. And so at that time, I was starting to get a little bit older. Our daughter was getting older. We didn't want too big of an age gap, so we went to see Dr. Kaufmann.
Age does impact on chance of getting pregnant, and that's kind of our primary thing, and what we do here is try to size things up with respect to what are your chances of getting pregnant. And the first thing I always look at is age. I try to be kind of sensitive to it. And there is an age-related decline in getting pregnant, even starting in the early 20s, because the deal is women are born with about 1 to 2 million eggs. When they start having periods, they're down to 400,000, and then menopause, you got 0. So what happens, each year women lose about 10,000 eggs a year.
When we first started off with Dr. Kaufmann, he recommended, the least invasive procedure. We tried that a couple of times and realized that we needed to move on, kind of break out the big guns, and so we did go forward with IVF.
At what age is it getting more difficult? I'd say 37, 38 is it is getting more and more difficult, 40 more difficult, and even at 42 much more difficult. There are always options, so if somebody says, hey listen, I want a baby, most of the time patients can have babies. They really can. It just depends on what they're willing to do and what they want to do and what their expectations are.
Dr. Kaufmann was really good about explaining that just because one cycle doesn't work, a subsequent cycle isn't necessarily going to go the same way. You could have very different IVF cycles. When we did go through again, it's been about a year and a half ago, we did have a very different cycle and did result in a pregnancy, and in fact our baby girl was born last November. He was so warm and friendly with both my husband and me and our oldest daughter. And I have to say, his wife Lisa, that also works with him, such a great source of encouragement and such a great resource of information and support for me as well.